Hello, Laura.
Hello, hello.
Nice to see you and welcome to Efff Financials Live podcast party. How are you?
I'm good.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. All right, good. So I don't need to yell across the room. Well, thank you to the studio. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful coffee shop behind me. And we are located at the Mission House in Burlington, North Carolina. Just excited to be here. And I wanted to introduce you to Fred, Financial Fred.
Financial Fred, I love it.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say.
I'm sure you could help me too.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's my secret mascot. But so glad to have you. Thank you so much for being my opener on this podcast. I appreciate you so very much. And Laura Ribbon, so I'll give you a little bit about Laura. Laura is actually a physical fitness instructor located in the Cayman Islands. And she has been a huge inspiration for me in reference to movement. It's all about the movement, whatever your movement is. And I did want to, I'm just so excited. So Laura also has a funny bone. And I wanted to bring her on to open it up and share her funny. So share your funny.
Well, I must tell you, I'm looking at Financial Fred, and he would have done great. I've been teaching swimming all morning to all these little kids. And it's so nice and pure, right? When you've got little guys and they're fresh mind and they only have this much experience with life and with things. And they make my day. It's just the best way to like set your mindset every day with fresh, like little virgin minds. And they're so curious and everything is why. So that's a great start to the day. And I was so looking forward to coming on here because you do usually have a prop. So Financial Fred, nice to meet you.
He says, thank you, Laura. Where's your prop? I brought mine.
I know. I was racing out of the book. I have these great glasses that I can't find. I bought them ages ago, I think, in Disney World, but they look like sunglasses, but then they're layered. So then you could open up one layer and then the side opens and another opens. So eventually you see your eyes. But I love using it as a prop because our perception, how we perceive things in life for many people is just, right here.
Right.
And when you start opening up and looking, up, down, sideways and see things out here through educating yourself and experiences, that's all how we grow. And being a school teacher, that actually in a school classroom, education's changed so much. Now the world is our oyster. There's so many things online we can learn, experiences we can have, things like this where we can network with people and share.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I do have a surprise question for you. All right, let me get my little sheet.
Uh-oh.
All right. So my husband's shorthanded this. So if there's anything in the world that you could change to be $1, what would that be?
Anything in the world that I could change to be $1.
Yes. What would that be? Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yes, because let's go the other way. Money's energy. And if I was to give $1, just my energy, let's say, the plastic floating around in the ocean and I want to contribute towards that cause. Just by me giving $1 and putting the energy and intention into that dollar to help go towards making a change, that energy spreads. And think how powerful it'd be if we all just gave $1. And now, if I look at the world and I want something to be only $1, I think right off the top of my head, what I think of is finding Joe Dispenza or someone who I think could help educate people to see things a little differently themselves as well as how they can help others. And if talking to Joe Dispenza, everyone could go be in his arena for $1, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, imagine. So, Laura, give us something of inspiration besides Joe Dispenza and talking about energy being money. Give us an inspiration or a funny story around money that comes to surface for you.
Well, unfortunately, I'll say use the word unfortunately, but I grew up in a time where people can relate. Money, you're told money doesn't grow on trees. You had to finish everything on your plate, otherwise 100 children die somewhere else. And but that's the best my parents could do at that time. That's how they thought things needed to be told. And we, really pinched pennies and saved money, had allowances, jobs. And I feel that the money mindset for me, being a single mom, I enabled myself to get so wrapped up with a very poor money mindset that, I'd be working all the time. My little boy, I missed Tina. I can actually talk about it now without crying, but I missed every single one of his baseball games because I was teaching on a Saturday. And I own the company. Why did I not think, only teach in the morning or whatever? So a lot of regret with that, a lot of worry about money. And then something happened about, my son's 27, about 9 years ago. I started welcoming abundance and realizing money's energy. If I'm so negative about money, obviously I'm not going to have any. But if I welcome abundance and I give as well, money will come just happen. And it did. And what I mean by that is opportunities, my way of looking at money a little differently, my opportunities a little differently. So then I started doing Wealth Wednesday, and good old Ray Higdon got me into this years ago, definitely before probably 2018. And Wealth Wednesday is a day where you pay it forward monetarily. It can be $1, it can be $2, but you do something like you stick it in a diaper box at the supermarket, or you pay for the guy behind you. So it's not about who gave you the money. It's about you just put it there and it's for the next person. So what I do is I go to the gas station and they always have, I love food and I love good, healthy food, but the food they serve at the gas station is usually something yucky. So I always take $1, $5, maybe 25, staple to a piece of paper and say, welcome Wealth Wednesday. I'm paying it forward. And I staple it to the money and I go in there and I give it to the girl who is behind the food counter. She goes, oh, it's Wednesday. And I go, yes. So then she gives it to whoever she wants to. I don't.
Oh, nice.
So during Hurricane Ivan, during COVID, they came and announced we are very, 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 and I was doing other things, picking up, if I see a penny, I pick it up and look up in the sky and say, thank you for my abundance. So during COVID, we're all very much in lockdown and I'm allowed to ride a bike 3 days a week because my last name begins with an R, other letters, different days. So I told my son, I said, I'm going to the gas station to do Wealth Wednesday. And I had a $25 bill. And he said, Mom, why are you spending so much money on Wealth Wednesday? We might not have any food. We're not working. He was, panicking. And I said, Sam, it's Wealth Wednesday. When you don't have it, that's when you need to give the most. So I took $25. I get weepy about it. Took it over to the gas station. I came back. Tina, I pulled in the driveway with my bicycle, closed the gate, and a friend of mine pulled up in her car and she handed me a check for, I think it was $200, saying, thank you so much for doing all the free exercise videos on YouTube over the last year. It helped me keep sane. And I was like, whoa, you give it and it comes back tenfold. So my feeling of abundance and gratitude totally shifted. And my son shifted as well because he saw me shift. And I just think how we look at money. I mean, it's so interesting, Tina. If you said to me, Laura, I went to Black Eyed Peas last night. How much was the concert? How much did it cost you? I have no problem telling you. Well, I volunteered, but my sister's ticket was $165. There's some people who can't even talk about how much something costs because they can't share that at all. I mean, when I finish paying off my mortgage, which is happening very soon, the entire world is going to know about it. So
ain't that the truth?
It's just money and it's energy. And I just think,
right, Fred?
Yeah, it's so true. Isn't it? The energy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. And I do have your promo offer. We'll make sure we get that into the comments because I want everybody to know who you are, to contact you, reach out to you. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. Aren't you working on a 7-day challenge?
Yes. So even though I do a bunch of different things, from little babies to adults, it's all revolved around working with people to help them get healthier. And that's with mindset, movement, and nutrition. And mindset's huge. You know, where do you start? Everyone thinks it's such a big job. It's just tiny little jobs, little steps. So with so many people working from home, I thought, oh my goodness, how can I get out there and help, whether they reach out to me one-on-one or not, but how can I get out there and give and maybe give them some tools that they can relate to? So it's really cool. So it's a 7-day on-demand challenge. What that means is when they click the link, I get their email. Thank you. That means I get to write you and see how you're doing, but I won't bug you too much. And it's all because I care. And then they start getting emails, one every day. And in the email is a video with somebody talking, and it's a checklist and then some other written material. So it sort of takes you through some different steps. So the goal is every day the person opens the email, does the various steps, and there's different links in there for an amazing Eat Clean recipe book, especially for people like to be plant-based. It's really nice. There's a couple other links in there for some fun things. But the objective is, if someone gets that little kick in the butt to get moving and says, maybe I can do this, then, man, to jump into our Facebook group where we've got a lot of information, a lot of baby steps, and then go from there. If they want one to pick up, write an email, say, Laura, let's get busy. How can I get started? And that's sort of the map. And it's so far so good on the 7-day challenge. People like it. If it can just make them change one little thing, Tina.
That's right. Small changes make big differences. Well, I thank you, Laura, so much. We'll get that link put in the comments to make sure that if anybody wants to reach you, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can definitely reach out to Laura. And I thank you so much for opening this up with me. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much. And you have a good day, and get back out there, girl, and go get them.
And keep moving.
Yes, keep moving.
My 95-year-old mom, movement is non-negotiable. Done.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy your day, honey.
Love you. Bye.
And who our next guest, Brianna, is? Jason, but he's not. Jason's not there yet. Okay, so while we wait for Jason to come in, wanted to just kind of we jumped right in and got started. I wanted to mention again, we are at the Mission House Cafe in Burlington, North Carolina. I have an amazing coffee bar behind me, and coffee bar is very special to me in reference to I actually owned a coffee van, an espresso van, mobile espresso van, about 14, 15 years ago. And so it is pretty unique that my podcast is being launched in a coffee house. So my husband is here with me, and he's like, don't you put me on camera. And just wanted to share that. So it is such an honor to be here at the coffee house in a different environment from my home office and where I usually do a lot of broadcasting. And thank you everybody for chiming in. Again, this is Financial Fred. He's my co-host because, you never should be talking to yourself. So we will improvise here and have Fred And of course, we've got a financial abundance and all that yummy stuff. And okay, so what we're going to do, give us just a few moments and we're going to take just a minute break and we will be right back. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Hi.
Oh man, well, welcome to the launch party on F That Financials. Right? I want to introduce you guys. This is just amazing. Nikki Golly and I go back a couple months now in reference to our adventure. And Nikki is talking shit with Nikki, and that's what she does. She is an amazing, I wish I would have had her 15 years ago during my struggles in my digestive problems that led to cancer, but I'm fine. But it's just important for somebody to be an advocate for you when you are struggling and nobody's listening. They think you need mental help. They tell you to go get some mental help and they declare you as IBS because of stress and being overworked. And guess what? I had cancer. So Nikki is definitely, she had her own struggles and why she's now an advocate and a coach on teaching people how to be more mindful of their digestive tract. And she does everything from supplement evaluation and all that good stuff. But I will let Nikki share a little bit about her. And just so thankful that you joined me. And thank you for joining my launch party, Nikki.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. This is awesome. So excited. Thank you.
So tell me what you got going on. Tell me.
Yes. So honestly, the biggest thing that I'm here to promote, and you kind of led into it a little bit, is let's talk about what's going on with your digestive system. Everybody poops. Hello, everybody poops. It's a normal, natural, good thing. It's actually amazing for your body to get rid of what you don't use and what you can't use. It is so, so important, but nobody talks about it. Except
true.
maybe, well, that's a lie. Okay, so parents of babies and pet owners.
Sure.
Those are the
My
ones that
friend.
talk about poop.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't
My
talk about it all
cousin.
the time because it's in their face and they have to deal with it, but they're not talking about their own poop. So it's super important. Let's bring up the conversation like, hey, did you know that you're supposed to be pooping every day? Like most people don't even know that. Like it is essential that you poop every day, if not 2 to 3 times a day.
I know. What's the worst, you think? Talking about poop or finances?
We could talk about my favorite F word.
Yeah.
Fiber.
Fiber. Oh, I thought you were going to say fart.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Fiber.
I like to talk about solutions, not unpleasantries. But I guess I do. Hold on.
So tell me, so give me of course this is FI Financial, break the stigma of financial chatter, and give me an inspirational or funny story about money, finances that you could give us and or let the audience know that you've dealt with.
Yeah. Okay. So I have, as many people, I struggled with my health. That's what brought me here. But I struggled with finances. Most people do because our parents only know what they know. And most of them don't really know the truth. They don't know. They only think of what their parents taught them. And that's like money doesn't grow on trees, or money this, or money is the root of all evil. Like there's all these things about money, and that's BS. It's BS. Like money is energy. Like your previous guest was saying, money is energy. Money is just an exchange. We've just created something as a paper instead of the barter system. We go back to actually using paper money or credit card money. Honestly, no one has much paper anymore, but you get the point. But
oh, I have a lot of paper.
yeah, love it.
I'm a little.
I love it. Give me that. I'll take some of that.
Addiction. I know I should be. Let's see if it'll go through the camera.
But it's really learning about that money is energy. And the more that you put money out there, yes, even some money that we don't necessarily have. Like I recently hired a business coach, and I put money in that I didn't necessarily have, but I knew that it was the energy that I put out there was going to be the energy that I was going to get back.
That's good.
Oh my God. Since I hired this coach, I actually met you since I hired this coach, but I hired this coach and I have made more money in the first quarter of the year than I made in the previous entire year.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, I know with business coaches and different coaches of different levels get a lot of bad rap, and but I don't think so. I think every entrepreneur needs the business coach or any coach, life coach, spiritual coach, medical coach, whatever it is. Somebody needs to be your advocate, your support system, keeping you accountable, giving you direction, sharing ideas, brainstorming, but find the one that matches your energy and the one that can get you to that level, right? Because it's a collaboration effort. It's a collaboration effort. And I am so supportive of business coaches, even though they get a lot of, bad names. I've been asked, are you a coach? Well, I don't really consider myself a coach. I'm more of a consultant because of what I do in my business systems and processes. It's stuff I have to be hands-on with. But I would say 80% I do it for them, and 20% I do it with them. So I think that 80, you hear that 80-20 rule. I think that's a very good balance in anything in life. 80-20.
80-20. 80-20 happens so often. I talk about 80-20 when it comes to health too. It's like, hey, or it's really closer to 90-10 when it comes to health, because if you focus on 90-10, 80-20 happens, because we like to fudge a little bit more, especially
when you need a little bit of room.
Good tasting foods or things that isn't going to feed you. Like I'm going to tell on myself, yesterday I got an ice cream bar. I'm like, it was actually, it gave me a tummy ache later, but it was so worth it in the moment.
In that moment. Well, I got a secret question I want to ask you.
Yes.
And every guest is getting you on the hot seat.
Okay.
So if there was one thing in the world that you could change to be $1, what would that be for you?
What would that be for me? I would say if I could change, can it be an entire section?
Whatever comes to your mind, open floor.
The first thing, is for me, but also, I mean, everything that I do is kind of for my clients, which I love. But I would say making the vegetable section $1.
That would be, yes. And sometimes having them last a little longer.
That just means you need to eat them faster, girl.
That's true. We had that conversation. Nikki has gotten on to me about that. Even under all my struggles, even though having the cancer and having the surgery and losing a lot of my digestive system and relearning how to eat and things, it's still a challenge for me. So Nikki and I will be working together in restructuring my eating habits, because I've gotten to a point that I don't want to eat solid. I just want to stay with liquid, and I'm having to reprogram myself. So no matter what you're going through in life, whatever it is, whether it is a true medical diagnosis or whether you're dealing with something, Nikki can help you evaluate that. And I wholeheartedly support her as someone that had carcinoid cancer, which is a neuroendocrine cancer. It's very important to keep your system in check. Colon cancer is one of the number one things that's undetectable sometimes until you're in the late stages. So definitely reach out to Nikki. Nikki will get you your
You mentioned that actually. Now that you mentioned cancer, I don't focus on cancer a lot in my business, but it is a motivator. It definitely gets you like, okay, so I actually created something. Created a colon cancer risk quiz.
Good.
A lot of it's about digestion. So like, hello, surprise, surprise. It's about how you're digesting and your stress level and that kind of stuff. So I will actually send you, if that's cool. I'd like to offer it for free for anyone that's here, a colon cancer risk quiz. Take it, assess where you're at with your digestion. And like, it's real. I want everyone to feel good. That's the whole point. I want you to feel amazing because you deserve it. You deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to catch anything or at least reverse anything, because you can reverse cancers. You really can. If the more you focus on taking care of your body, depending on where you're at, but the more you focus on taking care of your body, the more your body will take care of itself. It's amazing. So the more you support it, the better off you're going to be. So I'm sure I will send it to somebody and we will get it in the chat wherever you're at. So
yeah, definitely. So tell me what the link is. And Brianna's actually working on the chat. Brianna, can you get the link in the chat?
Awesome.
What is it?
So,
Go ahead. I know where's it located. Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah, it's basically NikkiGolly.com, and I can post it in the chat here too. NikkiGolly.com.
If you're able to.
Cancer risk quiz. So
colon cancer risk quiz.
It's cancer. I think there's dashes in between cancer risk and quiz.
Okay. So, yes. Go ahead and definitely do that. We want to make sure.
No, there definitely is here. Let me see. Depending on where the chat is, I've got a chat. We got it. Oh no. Yes. Okay, it said I can't do it. I can't post a link, but I can send it directly.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll get it posted. No problem. We will definitely get that posted. I want to get Laura's posted as well, so that way people can reach out to you. And thank you so much for sharing your stories. And thank you, Nikki, so much for everything that you do to help me. And vice versa. And I love you, girl. You have a good day and go enjoy that baby.
Thank you. You're amazing. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you, honey. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. Oh, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, thank you for joining Efff Financials podcast launch party.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, we are. So let me introduce you. This is Fred, Financial Fred. Just like the story is, don't drink alone, don't talk alone, don't talk to yourself alone. So I want to make sure I have my little co-host. And so we have Financial Fred, and thank you for joining us. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm excited to get to learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jason Fry, founder and CEO of Terrapin Strategy Incorporated. We're a hybrid government relations company, and we're based out of, technically I'm right now in Stillwater, Minnesota, but our offices are in Washington, D.C. and in Arlington, Virginia, and we're getting ready to launch our new product, and we're very excited.
Nice. Awesome. So I appreciate you. So one of the things about my podcast, it's about interviewing anyone from a CEO all the way down to a single mom. And the main thing is breaking the stigma on financial chatter, right? It's one of the things no one ever wants to talk about. And I've been in the financial industry for 20 years now. And prior to that, I've worked in different industries and have business. My focus and niches, my superpower is business systems and processes that make companies money. Right. So one of the things that I like about, I bring funny to financials because it helps train people easier. It helps break the mold a little bit easier. People get uncomfortable around money talk. So if there is a story that comes to your mind of inspiration or a funny money story, would you be willing to share?
I've got quite a few.
Pick your favorite one.
Okay, about money. Okay, well, I think one of the most important lessons that I learned was in 2008 during the financial collapse. watching the smart money get rich on the hockey stick up and watching other people have a more difficult time. And so when COVID happened, we made a couple of financial shifts based on those lessons learned from some people that we had watched navigate 2008 and 2009. And that was a hugely inspirational thing for me. And I'm like, the next crisis that comes, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be ready to go. And so I took a lot of lessons from a lot of really smart people that are doing fantastic today financially, right? And I just followed their advice. And that was just a huge inspiration for me, because everybody was telling me to be afraid, right? And I hadn't heard Warren Buffett's, like, hey, when people are afraid, that's when you start making the trades, right? So I didn't understand to buy the dip. I didn't understand to, spend less than you earn, right? I didn't, that's
Right.
how wasn't how I was brought up. And so to see that was so inspirational to me, and has just really changed my life and my financial footing in what it is that we're trying to accomplish.
So changing that mindset.
Right.
What we've been talking about through this, it's true. It's generally why I started this. It's changing the mindset, breaking that stigma, because that's where a lot of the limiting beliefs on people not seeing the potential of where they can be in their wealth abundance, right? So
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But now I got a secret question.
Oh, let's go.
Are you ready? All right.
Ready.
So if there's one thing in the world that you can change to be $1, what would that be?
A Tesla Cybertruck. And then if I
A truck. So they have trucks now, not just cars?
Yeah, right. It's the Cybertruck. No, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I'd probably say Bitcoin. I knew about Bitcoin when it was $1. So now I'm kind of wishing that I would have bought it then. But no, probably Bitcoin at this point. I would say that'd be great if that was only $1.
So since you have information about Bitcoin, I never really got much into the non-green currency.
Yeah.
And this is all, fake money, but I will tell you what, this looks very, very
It's
real.
very real. Yeah.
So
Even
tell
real
us,
stuff looks fake at sometimes. So
I know, seriously, it truly looks, it's even got like the little line in here. Like, look at that. Isn't that crazy?
That's good.
So the Bitcoin, I know a lot of people are going to different alternatives of currency. I mean, we don't have time to go into detail about that, but I would love to have you back on the show and do a whole 30-minute segment on the Bitcoin and the alternative currencies, because I want to be educated a little bit more on that and where you think that the future of our currency is going, especially in America, or if it's going to be global, because a lot of people say that one world currency is happening. And definitely want to get you on another segment. So how did you find out about Efff Financials podcast?
Wow. You know what? There's a couple of different ways that I found out about it. There was, I think it was on LinkedIn. I think I saw something on it. There was a bunch of different ways that I have, that I've seen what you've been putting out. And so that's why I reached out originally. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited to be here. And the one thing about Bitcoin, actually something to think about is, and how it's changing is the ETFs that have come out, right? These are like traditional financial vehicles, right? That like anybody can put into their 401k. So it isn't like so crazy anymore. So the institutional investment in that space is really going to change, I think, how it's perceived. And then, but I'd love to talk about that further. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I would definitely love to talk about that, because that's an area I haven't gotten too far into, but it's definitely a stigma where I hear some people talk about it being on a negative end and some on a positive end. And of course, there's always, the pros and cons about anything, but yeah, definitely join me back. So do you have anything else that you can think of that's another funny or inspirational story around finance?
Oh, finance.
Or money, or something when
No.
you were a little kid. Remember the tooth fairy?
Well, so my daughter just lost, I think, what will hopefully be her last tooth, because she's lost so many teeth that like the tooth fairy is getting to be really expensive. And so the older she gets, the larger, it's, in economics, we talk about, the law of diminishing returns, but with my 8-year-old, it's actually the opposite. It's the law of exponential returns. And so she keeps hoping that she's going to lose teeth, because then, the tooth fairy will keep coming, because the presents keep getting better. And that isn't exactly how money works sometimes. But if you invest in the things that right, and you are intentional about what your money does, you do get exponential returns, not diminishing ones. So I think my daughter with the tooth fairy would be a great funny money story.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we definitely need to talk. We'll definitely bring that up as well on our individual show, and I'm looking forward to that. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate you for coming in, and looking forward to learning a whole lot more about Bitcoin and your tooth fairy. But answer one question: how much inflation is the tooth fairy now? 20 bucks a tooth?
At least 3.5%. So whatever. So if it's $5, we're talking probably about 20 cents a tooth. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank God my children are older right now. I couldn't afford them.
If it's less than 5, you get the look like, is the tooth fairy mad at me? Did I do something wrong to the tooth fairy? Because of course she's smart enough to know that I'm the tooth fairy. So.
Oh my, well, that's right. She's getting to that age. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate you coming in and jumping in and taking your Saturday and joining me here for the launch party. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome, CTN. Bye.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. She's hard at it back there at the coffee bar. If you are not here at the Mission House Cafe, you are missing out. Not only does it smell good, I'm sitting here drinking my chai charger. And this is something I would drink back when Tommy and I owned an espresso van. And it was just always something that was just still gives you your kick, but also has a different flavor. So I thank you, Shug. This is very, very, very good. So cheers to everybody. All right, we're going to take 1 minute break and we will be right back. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm having a little too much fun over here. I tend to learn how to have a party with myself. And again, I want to introduce you to my mascot, Financial Fred. I never talk to yourself. That's the whole thing, right? And I don't want to be wearing a white jacket. So I have to have my little co-host over here. And he's just so awesome. And of course, my money god. I should be a 5-year-old at this point. But I love it. But let me tell you how much money has changed, how much fake money has changed. This stuff looks so real. They even have the little stripe here, the coloring and everything. Thank God it has copy money at the bottom and the corner, because I mean, this seriously could be used if a merchant, and don't worry, I'll make sure I grab every one of these $100 off the floor so someone doesn't accidentally think this is real money and try to use it and get some coffee or some goodies over here. So if you're not here at the Mission House Cafe, you're missing out. Amazing coffee bar. They have a lot of good things here. If you've never heard of them, definitely check them out. Pull them up on Google. I found them on all over social media. It's a great location here. It's in Burlington, North Carolina. Coffee house is very important to me. I owned a mobile espresso business about 14, 15 years ago with my husband. My daughter, Brianna, that's how she started with her passion for being an entrepreneur. And so thank you, everybody who gets to enjoy all her beautiful, lovely baked goods. And she does a lot of custom. I call her a cake boss, but she's really a cake artist. She does amazing things on a lot of the things she does. And I'm glad that Tommy and I were able to help mold her into one amazing entrepreneur. And I'm so glad that she is still doing what she loves to do. And that's the most important thing, is doing what we love to do. Always, whatever you try to do, just find, whether it's a hobby, whether it's something you do for money or anything, always take out a minute of every day, a couple minutes of every day. And there's a big push that I push for. It's called the pause. If you have not learned what the pause is, you should. The pause is so very important because we work in such a harsh world right now with a lot of things changing. Inflation is up there. That's why I try to bring the funny in financials, bring the stigma out of this. And pausing is so important. If you just take a few moments to pause a few times a day, whatever you are doing, whether it's before you speak, before you jump on your computer in the morning, take a moment and have a pause. 15 minutes a day is all you need. And look at that. There she is. Oh my gosh. I was just having my pause moment, child.
Girl, what do we got?
Oh my gosh. So let me introduce you to my next guest. My next guest is Tammy James. She's my sister from another mister. No, there's not two of me on the screen. This is truly my twin. She is the inspiration behind Efff That. I meant financials. Tammy will not say the F word. And for our whole entire life, she would always say, F that, F that. So when I came up with the idea of bringing funny to financials, her statement is what entered my mind. And I said, you know what? Let me call her and ask her for her permission. Now, I know it's an Urban Dictionary. It's all over. It's not copyright or trademark. But it's just important to me, important and special to me. So I wanted to bring on the inspiration behind the evolution of F That. I meant financials. My sister from another Mr. Tammy James. And Tam, I want you to now let me tell you, y'all think I'm funny. You ain't heard nothing yet. Tell us a funny story about finances. I know you got money, a million of them.
Well, I mean, the only one that came to mind, since you sprung this on me this morning, the one that came to mind was Tina had me at her place last year for my birthday, because I love birthdays. Tina doesn't as much love her birthday like I love mine. She
loves her birthday.
She loves others' birthdays, but I love everyone's birthday. So we're there, and lo and behold, she surprises me with a spiritual friend of hers. We're going to visit. She did warn her that I am not very into that type of thing, so she was kind of aware. So this woman, nice as pie, says to me, did you ever think of like what you wanted to do with your life, blah blah blah? And I was like, nah, I mean, it is what it is for me, right? I mean, I just go with the flow. So, she goes to tell me, well, did you ever think about making soap? Said, I see you making soap. And I said, honey, I don't want to make dinner, let alone soap.
We have that in common, y'all.
So that's my financial, as far as I can go with that. So there's people out there like cooking, and it isn't me.
Yeah, Tammy is she picks out the veins out of chicken, y'all. She's that's our story that goes way back.
Definitely. Wait, I did recently do shrimp. Shrimp is probably right up there with chicken.
All right, I got a surprise question for you.
Go.
All right, if there's one thing in the world
Oh,
that you can change to be $1, what would that be?
that I can change to be $1?
Yep.
Oh, I don't understand the question.
So if there's one product out there in the world that you can change to be $1 price tag, what would you make? What would that be? What item would you make it be $1?
Oh, I mean, are we getting crazy, or are we just being realistic?
Yeah. No, crazy, not realistic. Just anything, whatever it is. If you can make one product $1 in the world, what would it be? Don't overthink it. Just what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Damn car insurance.
Car insurance $1 for everybody across the board.
Yes, everyone should pay $1.
Okay, so what's going on with the car insurance deal?
The car insurance is terrible in the city in Philadelphia. It is terrible.
I bet. I bet everything's going up. Insurance, utilities. And that's the reason why I started the podcast. This has been how many decades in the making, is I wanted to bring funny to financials and break the stigma. And what better time now, seeing that stressor approach, what better time now than to have that? Hey, I wanted to introduce you, by the way, to Financial Fred, because I don't want to talk to myself.
Hi, Fred.
His microphone's turned off.
Fred, I said hello.
Oh, he can hear. He has ears.
I mean, I save money giving up a lot of things, but car insurance, I need it. So yeah, that would be my thing. I would change car insurance to $1.
Yeah.
Because
Gosh.
I last month wanted to fight the car insurance guy, my adjuster. I actually had to tell him, are we fighting now? Like, are we arguing? Like, you're my guy.
So you wanted the car insurance adjuster to be, to be there for you, to defend you in your rights, right? Now, was it the adjuster, the underwriter, the agent? Because they all have their little ways of playing in the field.
You're right. It was the agent, which is worse.
Well, the agent doesn't have control like the claims or the underwriter or anything like that. There's so many other stipulations, and that poor agent gets beat up, which I'm sure he got beat up by you, right?
Oh. Well,
to all the insurance agents out there, we apologize.
Actually, because needless to say, the next day he called me and wished me a happy birthday.
See, he didn't hold the grudge. He even asked happy birthday. What amazing! What a good insurance agent guy. He did not take it to heart. He knew you were upset, and he probably listened to you, and then he even said happy birthday.
I think he knew he was wrong.
Right, I'm sure.
Because then he sent an email, and he did what I needed him to do.
Yeah.
Except
right, because my sister from another mister is very good at having you see things from different perspectives. She is a huge help to me, like you have no idea. She's been with me the longest than anybody. She's been with me since I was little, and she was always the one that would give me different scenarios of, well, have you ever thought of this? Or have you ever looked into this? And she would just see things from a different perspective. And she's real. She's real. If you don't want to know the truth, don't ask her. That's the truth.
so real that I do not wear makeup. This is just me getting up today.
And you're absolutely beautiful. Always.
I'm
Always
oh
beautiful.
God, I hope she don't want my hair done and my makeup and all. I don't do makeup. I'm
No.
clown.
I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate it because I wanted everybody to see who the person is behind me who has helped mold this person of me and got me on a screen and the courage to be able to get out here and talk to people and be in the public eye, because this has been a long road. And I love you so much for all your inspiration, all your support.
I do have a lot of funny stories though that I was afraid to talk about.
Why?
Because I don't know how far we're supposed to go, sis.
Okay, is it rated PG, rated X?
It's
Well, I always cut up and say, if I don't make it in life, I'm going to be working at the Blind Man Stripper Bar.
well,
That's
hey,
the next step.
I was about to talk about our trip to the mountains to see mom and dad.
Is there any guests in the waiting room,
The
Brianna?
No.
There's no guests in the waiting room, so
You still got 6 minutes.
go ahead. Go ahead.
You having a baby bladder, and we had to stop in a parking lot and had to pee behind the car, and there was cameras with your butt in the camera. That's the funny story.
Look, she called. Guys, she called me. Okay, let's preface the story. This is during COVID. We were going to see our parents. We were going to see my second parents, and this is in the mountains, and there was no bathrooms because they weren't allowing people to use the public bathrooms. So I'm like, I'm going to die here. I have to go to the bathroom. And she's over there. You got a baby bladder? I'm like, I hold 52 ounces of water, but I could not hold it in. So I didn't care. We found a spot. I drove up behind these area. We get out and there was no waiting. Y'all, when the kidney starts like vibrating and you start getting that pain, and it's either that or you're going in the car. I mean, you're releasing right in the car. It was that close. I get out. She starts now we're from Philly, y'all. We're from the hood of Philly. She starts surveillancing as I'm doing my business, and she goes, "There's cameras. There's one right there. Saw everything I own." But you know what? It's like giving birth to a child. I did not care because I was hurting. I was hurting, and I went to the bed.
And fine you. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, and then we said. That's what we said. Remember, we were waiting for weeks for a ticket.
Yes.
For indecent exposure. I never did get one, thank God. He probably said there was already too much of an embarrassment just seeing my butt or whatever they saw. They probably said, we'll leave her alone.
That was before weight loss too, sis.
Huh?
That was before your weight loss.
Yes, I know. That's what I mean. That was a big old shiny hiney. Okay, what's the other one that oh my God, we have so many stories.
Sunglasses on to watch that video.
Which one?
With your butt all white.
I know. I wonder if it's out on YouTube. God only knows. Anybody, if you're in upstate Pennsylvania and you saw a white woman in a car that went to the bathroom, let me know. Reach out to me. I'm curious. I'm sorry. I apologize. And I even think I used water that I had in my car and like rinsed it. I apologize greatly in advance. But hey, funny story. That's what happened with COVID, not opening up all the restrooms. You didn't think it's something you didn't think about, right? Something we didn't think about, like how did people go to the bathroom during that time when we were traveling? I think it was like a 5.5 hour trip.
We were looking for like a restaurant or something, needless to say.
Yeah, and they were all closed.
They were closed. Parking.
Oh, we have so many stories.
I am from Kensington, but I would not do that. You got me.
I know you wouldn't do that, but your kidney wasn't hurting either.
No, I must I went what 5 hours without peeing.
I know. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you did that. But anyway, oh my God, we have so many funny stories, not just around money, just, I will tell you kind of reason why we talk about this. So Tammy and I grew up in Philadelphia in the area of Kensington. We grew up in one of the toughest times of our lives. But you know what? The main thing I focus on is the love and support of the people that I had in my life, right? It's a part of who I am. It's my roots. Was it tough? Yeah. Was it hard? Oh gosh, yes. Were there things we didn't realize? Of course. Now that we're older, we look back and go, wow, how in the world did we survive that? But we did, because you know what? We had each other
With all of our teeth.
with all of our teeth. That's another area where we grew up. Not many people kept their teeth. It's a very high drug infested. It was a very high and drug infested area growing up. Gang driven,
It is
drugs. Gosh, I don't think there was anything that it wasn't, but it was
It was
tough.
a neighborhood though. Then it was when we lived there. It was a good neighborhood. Everybody knew everyone. I'm not ashamed to say I'm from there. It's sad the way it is today because everyone there is not from there.
Right, right. They rehabbed it and did a lot of different things and stuff like that with it. I mean, I know they changed a lot of the construction. The homes are redone, and
Yeah, well, there's
home prices are real expensive. I grew up not too far from where most people know today, the Sugar House Casino off of Delaware Avenue. So that's the area I grew up. Now, Tim lived, even I lived right across the street where the gang hung out. But Tammy lived right down the road behind the 7-Eleven. So she lived in a little bit better area, even though it was right up the block. I lived right across from the high school, and it was tough. There was a lot more things I witnessed that I shouldn't have. Um, and it was tough, but looking back at it, I experienced all of those things for a reason, and it's what puts me here in this seat today. And I'll be sharing a lot more of my stories and things of that, and how I got to doing finance. My sister is also accounts payable. She works at a company in Philadelphia. She does accounting, so we have a lot of accounting chatter sometimes. And it's just ironic how the paths of who you meet and the intertwining of finance. No matter what role you play in life, everybody is touching some financial aspect of it. And it's a topic that nobody ever wants to talk about. And we need to talk about it because a lot of people just have limiting beliefs around money, around finance. And I'm here to help you make it funny. I love you, sis. Thank you so much for joining me.
love you too anytime.
I will talk to you again soon.
All right.
Love you, sweetie.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Whew. Now you met my sister. Boy, y'all are meeting some family members now. Right, Fred? God, he's very quiet today. He talks a lot when we're at home, believe it or not. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. We're going to take another minute break, and I will be right back waiting for our next guest. All right, I'm back. Thank you guys so much for giving me a moment. We're just going through our audience list, and it's just been a joy to have everybody jump in and share a snippet about a funny story. And just to share, think about it. What is one thing in your life, if you can make it to be $1, what would that be? Definitely feel free, put it in the chat comments. And it's just interesting. So Tammy says insurance. And Nikki said vegetables.
I say a mortgage.
And my daughter's over here, Brianna, who's our COO, she says a mortgage. And our Laura said, what was Laura's response on the dollar? Oh, gosh. Laura's going to beat me. She's going to beat me with a wet noodle, y'all. And so it's just interesting. So if there was one thing that I could change to be $1 in the world, that's a good question. Gosh, that was a very good question, Brianna. One thing for $1, I would say gas, fuel, gasoline. We can get that back to $1 and just keep it that way. Now, I worked in the gas industry. I worked at it for the corporate office of a gasoline convenience store company. And there's not much of a profit margin, even though a lot of people think that gasoline has a big profit margin. It does not on the person that the distributor. Now, the big honchos that, refine it or whatever the terminology is, that I'm sure they make the money, but pretty much as it goes down through the channels, the distributor does not make that much, and the convenience store does not make that much off of gasoline. So you know that. I was back actually in the days of gasoline when gasoline was over $5 a gallon. I was working in the industry, and then ethanol came. I actually was involved. My first big, my big boy computer system that I was honored to have been hired for was a $2.2 million ERP system called Enterprise. They were based out of Austin, Texas. And they specialized in convenience store fuel pricing and things of that nature. So that was a very exciting thing. And what a lot of people don't realize with, business systems that they're purchasing, you are getting a shell. You're getting the basic model of it. Just like if your car did not have any type of added things on it, no little bumper protectors and things of that. When you purchase a software system, you are purchasing the shell. They cannot set it up based on your local laws, your state, your federal, based on your business model, based on your structure, your outline of each employee's tasks, things like that. You got to think of that. A lot of companies do not think of that. That's what I specialize in. So I've been doing this long time. Guys, I go back to programming the very first memory writer typewriter. And I was 18 years old. I was working at an insurance company. I was in the human resources department. And I programmed the memory writer typewriter while the secretary was on maternity leave. And the reason, I was like, this is crazy sitting here typing every one of these letters by hand. This is a lot of work, I'm saying to myself. Now I'm 18. I've been in computers since I was 15. And I said, you know what? I asked my boss, her name was Cheryl Burr. And I said, do you have a manual or anything I can look to see? This thing looks like it can be programmed. She said, yeah. So she gets me the information, and I spend unknown hours programming this thing for every recruiter, whether it was a rejection letter, a hire letter, they had to come in for orientation or whatever it is. So we had 3 recruiters at the time. And so when Janet came back from maternity leave and I showed her how to do this, how I programmed everything, she was in tears. She could not believe I did this. And she asked me why I did it. And I said, because I know how much time this takes in our day. I was covering for her while she was on maternity leave. And I did not want you to have to stress yourself out and do that because you have a little boy now that you need to go home to every night. And that's what your priority needs to be. So that was my first taste of programming. So there was many other little things. And 2004 was when I got to touch the $2.2 million system and did the training and learned how to do that. with no college degree, no background, but this is just how my path was. People knew that I was always learning something, whether it was reading a manual or YouTube. When YouTube started becoming more popular, it didn't matter. I always figured out the problem and solved the solution. And my whole thing was figuring out how to get to point A to point B quicker and faster with the same results. That was my whole mindset ever since I was a little kid. So I got to build that system. Ethanol then came. So right at the time that we just restructured the system, got it up and running, we had to customize a lot of the templates, the importing processes, things like that. Ethanol comes, and that had to be its own little bear and set up and everything else. And then I got the luxury of having the lottery system come in right at the same time. So I felt like a Forrest Gump at that moment. I got to experience the high gas prices, ethanol, and the lottery all in the same position. It was very interesting. Plus, I got to build 2.0. That's like any little boy with a Tonka truck or anything. That was the best experience I ever had. And because I had built their cash management system and their AR, their AP, the fuel module, it was just a great experience. And I was able to see the financial data and how it flowed through the system and then back, because we had to export and import from the convenience stores and then through the accounting software. So I, at that time, then they asked me to take on the position of the accounts receivable staff accounting role. And since I had already designed and set up the system, they asked me to take that position. And here's my face. And Jamie Kropp can probably tell you. Do you want to do accounting? We'll show you what needs to be done. I went, hell no, I'm not doing accounting. I don't like accounting. But you built the system. We'll show you. So that is how I started in finance. It was a circumstance, being at the right place at the right time. I get in. I already knew a lot of how things were supposed to operate. I was trained on the entire system. So I never came out of finance after that. And then I just basically kept implementing my business systems processes. Every job I would have, I would build their entire standard operating procedures on how every task and every job was done. And then we would implement different changes on how things were done throughout the job to give everybody work-life balance, to make things a little faster, quicker, easier. And again, the whole thing was, how do I make this quicker, faster, and get to the same end results? Not only does it save on money, profitability for the company, my whole perspective was it saves man hours. It gives people work-life balance. And that is the little bit of the short of it of how I got where I am today. And my niche and superpower is I am able to look at a computer system of any kind and look at business systems and processes and trying to find a way to make a company money by streamlining and finding the leaks. I can find the leaks. My mom refers to me of the lady in the Queen's Gambit, when she's up on the bed and she's watching the chess game play the moment. Now, again, not her lifestyle, not her, they put a lot of other things, but just that moment of how she looks and plays that game up on the ceiling is what my mom said. That reminds me of how I did when I learned how to play the violin and I learned how to do the things that I do. I would always process it in my head, and then I would see the moves. And I've never played chess, by the way. And I would see the moves, and that's how I've been able to do it. I don't know, it's just I love it. What the greatest thing in the whole world is? Even though business systems and processes are so time consuming and accounting is time consuming, finance, everything takes so much longer. The joy on the face, knowing when I'm able to plug those leaks and make a company money and see the profitability rise, that is the greatest joy for me than anything in the world. And that is the reason why I decided to step out and do it for a living as an entrepreneur, as a consultant, because I figure with this inflation the way it is, a lot more people can utilize, some of my skills. And there's other people out there just like me. They're working for companies and they're independents. And I've got to meet some amazing people. They will be on my podcast. And I have a wonderful woman in Canada that I met that has a mind just like me, and another lady there's many of us out here, and we're all trying to do the same thing, is help companies restructure and streamline their business system processes so they're not losing money. And then I have other little rabbits in my hat that I also do. So it's very exciting for me. I really enjoy what I do. I really love to help. The goal for me is not closing any doors. My specialty is property management, whether you're multifamily or single family. It's a very complex accounting structure, and I call it the 5-dimensional accounting system. And that is something that I just enjoy. It's something I know it's crazy. My passion becomes somebody hates it, right? But whatever you do in your passion is something I don't like to do. Like, I don't like writing, right? But you must, you might like writing. It's something I don't like. My daughter, she loves to bake. I got to experience a cake recipe event the other day, and what it was it was showing about prospects, how to bake a cake, and the eggs were this, and the flour was this, and the sugar was this, and it was making sure you had the right recipe of building your business and bringing on your clientele. And it was an eye opener. Joe Navarro is an amazing business coach. He does the Total Business Breakthrough, and I'm honored to be in Joe's team. He is just so inspirational, and thankfully he's local here in Burlington, North Carolina, and he just gives such valuable coaching information. And that's one of the things. I'm not a baker, I'm not a cooker. My daughter, I don't know how she got it. She's probably the milkmaid's child, but she loves to do that, and that's her passion. But what I do is my passion, and that's when I say it takes a village to help a company become profitable. It's truly the truth. It takes a village. Not one person can make a company profitable. It takes a village of all brains and expertise to make that. And I'm honored to be here. And I got a lot of funny, y'all. Look, I don't want to talk to myself. I have Fred. Just don't tell anybody. I got to have a co-host because I do live alone. I have 3 cats, and I think they're tired of hearing me. And so I decided to go ahead and get Fred. And then that way, just like drinking alone, as I said earlier, I won't look like a talkaholic. So here I am. And I appreciate you guys so much for joining. Is anyone in the studio? Yay! We're waiting for our couple. I have a couple of amazing guests coming up. I have Ollie Taylor coming up. I have Nissan Brown coming. And I have Brad Glassman that's going to be joining us. His actually is a pre-recorded video that I will share with you. It is a very important topic for me. It's about living benefits insurance. It's something we did not have during the time I was married and my kids were growing up when Tommy got sick. And you'll hear that recording a little bit later. He'll be closing my show. And I appreciate everyone coming in. So let's talk about some funny. Let's uplift this right now. So I got my money gun. I'm excited about my money gun. If you've been listening to the whole show, I've been telling people how real this money looks. It's not like the old days when we were kids. Looks totally legit. And I appreciate them letting me shoot this money as long as I make sure I pick up and clean up after myself. And let me see. So let's tell you about a little bit of finance. So my financial funny. So when I finance is just a stigma in general, right? Finance is a stigma in general. People don't like to talk about finances. Well, I understand. It's a pucker syndrome. Everybody thinks somebody's judging them. That is not my thing. I am there to make you money. When I'm coming into your company to figure out where your leaks are so I can figure out your business systems and processes, my whole mindset is making you money. Do you remember that scene in The Accountant where Ben Affleck is in that glass room and he goes through 15 years of financials to find where that leak was? That's me. Whether it takes all night, many markers, that's how I do it. I want to be able to see your processes and find out where your flaws are. Now, A lot of times I catch the problems with the systems, the ERP systems. It's the systems that you're purchasing. Either were not set up correctly, they didn't have all the things that you needed based on the way your business is operating, or there is what I call a gremlin. There's a gremlin in the system, and I catch them. And the goal is to get it to where, it's not, no computer system's perfect, just like no human is perfect. The goal is to fix the problem as fast as possible to get you back to running like a well-oiled machine. That's my whole mindset. The faster, the quicker I can resolve the leak, the better off we are. Get you running like a well-oiled machine, and then your growth is inevitable, right? Growing. Now, if you're in a growth process and you're about to get an influx in clients and you've got that coming, make sure your financial flows are being looked at. That's something I also do. I can come in as a temporary service, and I could just make sure we harness your business systems and processes around your financial flows, because you want that harnessed while you're growing, because you don't want to turn around 6 months to a year later and miss out a whole lot of opportunities that you didn't think about. And that's what I'm here for. So I just wanted to share that with you. And Brianna is letting me know that somebody is about to join us. And who? Ali, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on with you, Tina?
Oh, it's been a great day, a good day. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm great. I'm great.
Oh my gosh. So everybody, Ali is my super friend. Ali and I have a lot of the same mindset when it comes to what we do for businesses. And you just heard my whole spiel on what I do from the business system processes, where I'm in it with you. And as I was mentioning to Nikki, Ali, earlier, 80%, I do it like an 80-20. So 80% I do it for them. And then the 20% I do it with them, because I want them to have some knowledge of what we're restructuring with the business system process to get them profitable. And Ali does a lot of the other components that I don't do, but are two pieces of the puzzle of when we do them together, maximize great potential for our clients. So I am so thankful to have Ali Taylor in our studio and on my launch party, and he's amazing, and he's Wisdom and Wayfinder, and I will let him tell you a little bit more about him, what he's doing, and then I'll share my secret question.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I'm Ali Taylor. I am from Wisdom and Wayfinder Consulting, and basically what I do is I help solopreneurs and micropreneurs. Those are micro businesses. Those are businesses with under 10 employees, making anywhere from 500,000 to 5 million a year in annual revenue. I help them grow, scale, and profit with the right systems, strategies, and relationships. And I do that through Done With You Consulting, where we're sort of side by side. I don't give you homework. I don't radio in from base camp telling you to go left or right on the mountain. I'm shoulder to shoulder with you, helping you build out the systems and processes that you need, and helping you create those relationships. I can come in as your chief marketing officer in some aspects, your business development representative, to help you really grow and build your business in a way that works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So Ali does what I don't do. So FYI, even though we use the same terminology, business systems and processes, he's looking at more of your marketing and sales side, where I'm looking at more of your actual system, your system process flow, and what your team is doing day to day that's touching this button, that affects this button, that goes into this report, that streams back. So wanted to clarify, a lot of people talk about business systems and processes. So I want to clarify the difference. So that's the reason why it works, because marketing and sales is just as important as the, cost of your product, the cost of, the structure, making sure you're structuring your expenses correctly, like your insurance, your health insurance, your auto insurance.
Yes.
When you look at your accounts receivable, how far out is that? Are you getting to 90 day out or 20 days, 120 days out? How about your billing? How on top of your billing are you? So those are the systems and processes that I'm looking at to get your cash flow injection in. And then Ali is looking at your marketing strategies and your sales and all that yummy stuff. And like I said, between the two of us, we're like super friends. And we're a good combination together. And Ali, I don't know if you got to hear my sister from another Mr. earlier. She's from Philadelphia. And
I did hear about the story, the mountain hiking.
don't try to catch me, whatever you do.
No judgment. We've all been there. We've had those moments where it's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
And it was one of those moments. I will never live that down. But yeah, it's just awesome. So Ali, my secret question.
Okay.
If there is one thing in the world that you can change to be $1, what would that be?
Well, you actually said this before. You said gas, and that was going to be my answer. Because one of my favorite memories.
That's why we're super friends.
Yeah. One of my favorite memories, back in high school is when you could fill up your gas tank or just get like $2, of gas, and you could drive around for hours. That would get you through the week. You'd be able to go to class. You'd be able to drive around afterwards, and just drive around and listen to music. I mean, I miss those days when life was literally that simple.
Oh man. The more we find, I swear you're like my brother from another mother. 80s music, getting in the car. Remember the weekends where you would clean your car, and it'd be all clean, and you're like pumping up the music, just listening to the music with your friends. And those were the best times. And you're right, gas back then, you can do so many things. You were able to drive to the mall, and you were able to drive to work, and the stress of gas was never existent when we were kids. And now, it's funny. I was in the convenience, the fuel industry back when it was the worst it could ever be. And boy, watching those numbers, the tiny little bit of changes in those numbers made a world of difference. And then they brought in ethanol. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. So what would that be? What would your $1 item be since I already stole the gas one?
Let's see. What else would it be then? God, this just popped in my head randomly. I can't believe we used to pay like 99 cents for ringtones back in the day. I don't know why that just popped into my head. I was just like, that was a stupid thing that we spent $1 on.
Remember, you would walk around, somebody would, look at my new ringtone. And then everybody would, I spent $20 on ringtones this week. And they would have all these ringtones because everybody had to have one up on somebody else on the ringtones. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh God. The things we did back in the day. If I could, and then I co-sign on Brienne's, $1 for the mortgage, at least for the first year. That would be absolutely great. If we could do that.
That would be.
Insurance. What do I want $1?
Well,
I don't know. I think all restaurants need to return to their 90s era dollar menus. Let's bring all of that back.
Well, let me tell you a funny. Okay, here's a funny. So several years ago, I went to a like a Chippendale type of thing, right? Now it had been years since I've gone to one of the mail review, they call them, mail review, excuse me. So it was years ago, I decided, my friends and I, being single, we're like, okay, we'll go. And here's me going into the store, getting all these dollar bills, all these dollar bills. I go in there and I have like $30 or $40 of dollar bills. I go in and they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, they're $5. You can only put $5 in their pants. Well, guess what? I sat there and drank and enjoyed myself because nobody in that room, I'm sorry, guys, whoever was there, nobody was worth $5 for me to stick inside your underwear. I'm sorry. So inflation really changed. It used to be $1. Now it's $5. It probably is $10 by now.
Yeah, I don't know who's going out and doing any of that. I mean, that's insane.
Well, I told you my blind man stripper bar joke. That's where I'm headed if I don't make it in this industry. I'm heading to the blind man stripper bar, and it's going to be $20, and I'm going to be having prosthetics. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So here's Fred. That's Financial Fred. And
What's going on, Fred?
yeah, he's got his own microphone. I keep him muted because, I already have somebody
He
to
talks
talk
a
to
lot.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has to because I can't talk to myself. And he does a lot of talking, but he's a little shy right now. So, oh, and
It's all
this.
good. The money gun is very nice.
I can't help
Now, if
myself.
only
I
that
feel
was
bad.
real. If only those were real, like $100 bills.
One day we will walk into that existence. Let me tell you, I'm sitting here. If you could see the floor right now,
Yeah.
and then my money pile. It reminds me. What is it? The movie Scarface? Is it Scarface where he has all that money on the counter? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely.
Well, there's
there.
also that scene in Wolf of Wall Street where they have the bed and it's all just laid out on cash and they're like,
Oh
yeah.
yes. Oh yes. Oh gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. So tell me what's up with you. So I know you are working on discovery calls. I am enjoying, by the way, if you guys are not following Ali, you need to. He's Wisdom and Ways Finder. He has a funny bone just like me. He's sharing me these cartoon clips. I am dying. I am dying because when you're having a stressful day, that moment of just having a laugh means more than
Yes.
anything. I mean, I would come home, work, if I'm stressed and things are tough, I just turn comedy on and just let myself loose. I don't drink. I don't do anything crazy. Comedy is my thing. It's my stress reliever. And you sharing those with the clips is hilarious. Make sure you're following Ali on those. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to I know you do discovery calls for people that want to reach out to you. Tell us what you got.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the plug on the Instagram because so much of these conversations, people don't want to talk about financials, but so many people, one person I talked to recently, he's a father. He's got a little girl that he's loving spending time with. Like she's his little shadow right now, and we were just talking about all the different things that he's coming up with in his business and how he's wasted so much time and money by not asking for help because he figures a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs figure that they have to figure it out on their own, otherwise the success doesn't count in some way, and that's especially true like as for men who are business owners and entrepreneurs. It's like the whole rugged individualism. I've got to pull myself up by my own bootstraps, and so there's a lot of sort of internalized shame or just expectations, really hard expectations that they're putting on themselves to figure these things out. And so I'm trying to imbue some more of the comedy into it to, let them know, like, look, there are some humorous things about it. But a lot of what, like, business is actually easy, but it's all the head trash and things you have to deal with that make business hard. And so I want to break through a lot of that and let them know, like, I'm here to be your guide. I'm here to be like your partner. There's no judgment, no shame. It's getting you back to a place where you can start to enjoy the things, like the reasons that you went into business in the first place. If you wanted that time freedom, that money freedom, the ability to provide for your family, well, what good is that if you're spending 14 hours a day and not really getting to spend as much time with your loved ones and your family or doing the things that you're passionate about? So that's really where I come in is, my people are really good at what they do, but they're struggling to get the growth and the customers that they want, or they've had some growth, but now they're stuck at that level and they want to take it to the next level where they can start to step away, have a little bit more freedom. And so I'm working with them in that regard so they can have that freedom, have the life that they really want to create around it. And so that's where the humor and this stuff comes in. So.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, it's so funny. There's so much humor that you can pick up. Like, for instance, as I was saying, when I am talking to a client, it's what they're thinking is not even what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to make the money? Then once I make the money, I'm like, how am I going to make, all right, here's my next strategy, making them more money. And I said, look, I don't care if you had 2 margaritas at dinner every single time you had a business. That's not my thing. We want to see what your expenses are so we can cut some expenses out And a lot of times it's in the insurance stuff. It's in the health insurance.
Yeah.
It's in the auto insurance. It's in the liability and the E&O, or you don't have insurance you should have, like cybersecurity and things of that. So those are the things we want to look at, because we cannot wear all the hats. We cannot,
Nope.
I can't wear all the hats. People say to me, who's going to handle your finances? Well, I'm going to hire somebody. Just because I
Yeah,
do
because you
finances,
can't.
you cannot.
Yeah, you can't see behind your own head. You can't like see like, you know, it's like trying to, unless you have a mirror, you can't see the broccoli that's in your teeth. Somebody else has to point that out to you.
Holly, is your eyes back here? No. No eyes in the back of our head. We
Yeah.
can't. So, I mean, just know that that's what we're out here for. Ali and I are out here. We've seen the struggles. We've been in the mix of the struggles. We've been in the weeds. We are not afraid to be in the weeds, because the end of the day is to help you guys get back to some work-life balance, right? That's the whole thing it is. And one of the things that's coming up, Ali and I will actually be out in San Diego the end of this month doing a deep dive event together. And I am so excited to go out west. I have not been out west yet. Ali has. I think I was out in Vegas, but I've never been to California. And it's going to be a very good event. I'm looking forward to doing that with Ali. There'll be other speakers there with us.
Mhm.
I'll be sharing a story, different of how I went from, what was the terminology? A kidpreneur to an entrepreneur. And
Nice.
it'll be a pretty good story of how I started out, because we all have stories, we all have inspiration. And the main thing is just letting everybody know you're not alone. You're not alone out here. There are great people out here for you. And we are here to, what I call my little Justice League, and Ali's one of my super friends. And I am just so honored to have him in my court and helping, spread the F that financials, podcast series to kind of break the mold and bring some comedy and laughter, because every single day you need to bring laughter into your life, whatever it is. And I appreciate you, Ali, so much. Do you have a link if somebody wants to get up with you, and Brianna can put it in the chat?
I did. I just uploaded it now. So yeah, I have a group coaching called the Compass Collective. Basically, we're going to make sure that you have everything that you need. It's really geared for the solopreneurs, those who can't afford maybe private one-on-one coaching and consulting isn't an option right now. So I want to be able to provide something for them. But what they get is they get a complimentary 60-minute one-on-one call with me. We'll go through all of their stuff. There's going to be one group Q&A call every month. That'll be for about 60 minutes. Then there's going to be a 90-minute deep dive training on some area of their business that they really need help with. This is where I can bring in my expert financials like you, or experts like you, some of the other people that I work with, to really address those serious gaps in their business, so that they have options to get those things addressed. And then there's going to be new training modules that I'll create every month to help them really hone in on everything else in their business that they need. So
yeah, very, very important. And I my niche has been property management, which is important because the property management industry is experiencing a big boom. And a lot of it has to do with the interest rate when it was 2% and 3%. And a lot of investors took advantage of that and bought up all this inventory, right? That's why there was a lot of price war and a lot of inflation. The houses were being sold much higher. And so in the next few, now that we're going into this, a lot of homes are going to be available for rent. And with that, a lot of property management a lot of brokers are going into property management. So those that were real estate agents and brokers, the combo, they're coming out because the home sales aren't as good. So some of them are now going into property management or doing combo, right? Doing combo business. And the main thing you want to do is make sure that you get your business set up correctly, because property management is not typical corporate accounting mechanisms. You are dealing with multiple levels of accounting structures, and you got to think about that, because you're hitting owner statements one way, property management statements one way, you're hitting resident ledgers vendor payments, all of this makes, you got your sales tax and things like that.
Mhm.
They all have to flow correctly based on timing, compliance, and performance, right? And it's such a competitive market that if you don't get it set up, it's going to cost you down the road. I've seen it happen. And my goal is to help them get to where they need to be. So when the boom happens, they can grow, because what I know is after 250 homes, it starts getting hard to control, because you started customizing the owners,
Oh
the
wow.
investors that you want to bring in. And with customization, you got to be able to customize your systems and processes. Then you got to have a team to be able to harness all that. So that's the reason why that area I'm passionate about. I started in my real estate legal background in 2000. I was a real estate legal assistant in 2000. And then I just did Section 8, did home ownership, then boom,
Hmm.
housing bubble.
Yeah.
And then got into multifamily, and then went into single family property management. And that's when I left and decided to do this as an entrepreneur independent to help other businesses, especially with this inflation. So I can work with any business, but lately I
Yeah.
have been working a lot with property management companies and helping them kind of get restructured and things of that nature. But if you guys are going to be in the San Diego area on April 27th, definitely check out Ali and I. Both have it
Hmm.
posted on our social media for the deep dive event. Grab your ticket. We both have links. I'll actually be refreshing mine in the next day or so. Come and join us. It's an informal room. It's a beautiful, beautiful view in
Oh,
San
the view.
Diego. Oh, I can't wait to see that view.
That's gonna be one of my favorite things ever. Yeah.
I swear, I know. I can't wait. That alone is going to be awesome. My daughter's going to be with me. I'm looking forward
Awesome.
to Brianna joining us on that. But if you're going to be in the San Diego area on April 27th, grab a ticket. Come and say hi to Ali and I. Introduce yourselves. We are sharing our stories, not just what we do, but how we got where we are, what our why
Yeah.
is,
Why
why
we
are
do
we
it.
here,
Yeah.
why we do, and why we have such big hearts and support each other out in this big old world. In my little, what I call my little Nemo, riding on the turtles down the jet stream, meeting all the people. Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to it, Ali. Thank you so much for taking your time out on Saturday to join F that. I meant
F
financial
that.
podcast
Yes.
launch party. Thank you so much and have a great Saturday. Any last words of advice, a nugget, anything you want to leave us with?
Let's see. Little nugget. You're allowed to ask for help.
Bingo.
That's what I'm
Always.
gonna lead it. You're allowed
Yes.
to ask for help.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a
Appreciate
good
you. Take
one.
care.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, sugar. Bye-bye. All right. So we have our next guest. It's a pre-recorded. My daughter's going to go ahead and get that shared into the studio. And this is Brad Glassman. He has been a huge help to me in understanding living life benefits. It's something I never really got into. We're going to talk a little bit. You'll hear a little bit more about our story, but I just wanted to let you guys know it's about to go to a pre-recording that we did, and I will share that information of Brad in just a moment. Thank you so much. How about that, Fred? Fred says, okay, he's ready. All right, Brianna. Give us just a moment. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope everybody's having fun. Who's got the popcorn? Anybody drinking champagne or wine this early? Maybe a beer? Is sports playing right now? Anybody? Sports? Oh, my daughter's like, oh, yes, my sports. All right, here we go. Can you do full screen? Well, you gotta love technology, y'all. We could not get the video to go, but what I will do is I will clip that video of Brad and I having our conversation last night. It's an amazing conversation. It's for anybody that is dealing with a sickness, a disability, if you've got plans for your kids to go to college, anything. You know, most of us, we focus so much on death benefits that we don't focus on benefits, living benefits. And it's so important for you to know, Brad, his passion in helping educate people, and myself included, you know, we will all, something will happen in our lives, whether it's a disability, a situation, things like that. You want to help yourself while you're living, not while you're dead. Sorry. I mean, of course, it includes death benefits, but the main thing is you want to protect yourself. Look at your options, see where your options are. And I will share that clip later today. I'll go ahead and get that downloaded to my YouTube. Check back on the YouTube. I will get that downloaded. So please do listen to Brad's statement. Our conversation is amazing. He has made things so simple for me to understand in the live-in benefits world, whether you want a term policy or a universal life policy or whatever it is. If you are looking for something like that or have thought about something like that, definitely check that out. And I appreciate everyone for joining me today in our launch party. And again, it's so grateful to have a coffee shop, to be doing this in a coffee shop. It's Mission House Cafe. It's in Burlington, North Carolina. Check them out on social media. Stop in. It's a very comfortable environment here. They have chairs, a bar, they have a sitting area, they have some conference rooms. You can rent out the conference rooms here. It's a beautiful location, plenty of parking. You know, grab them on social media, reach out to them. They've been an amazing support and help with Brianna scheduling this event for us today. I'm enjoying my chai charger. Of course, you know, Financial Fred's not allowed to drink, and he has been an amazing co-host with me today. And thank you, Brianna, for helping with the tech level and getting this all started. This is the first of many shows to come. I will be bringing a lot more funny into this. Oh boy, do I have a lot of funny stories. I have a lot of funny analogies behind finance. I will definitely never drink. One thing I will warn you, never drink liquid when you're watching my shows, and be careful when you're driving, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. It happens. Sorry. I am from up north. Things happen. And when a funny story hits my brain, it's got to come out. And I always have something funny to say. It's one of the things, I guess, that people like about me. I don't even realize I'm funny half the time. I'm just sitting here telling a story about something that's something. And remember, nobody hold it against me that I had to pee behind a lot and show my butt. Okay? Because it was COVID times and there was no bathroom. And my sister said I had a baby bladder. So I thanks everybody for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed something. And remember, think about that one thing. What's that one thing in this world today that if you can turn it to be $1, what would that be? Definitely reach out to us, put in the comments, reach out. I'm curious as to what others have to say. You heard so many different ones. Brad's got a good one as well. Oh, you got to listen to the one from Brad. That was a really good one. It actually shocked me. I didn't know you can put a price tag on that. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, Mission House Cafe, thank you guys so much for hosting this event. I appreciate you. We will be back again. This place is definitely an awesome place. Check them out. And thank you again. Until next time, everybody. F that. I meant financials. Thank you so much and have a great Saturday. Until next time. Bye, Fred.